Hey, everybody, welcome back into another edition of Bold Predictions here at Inside Nebraska. He's Steve Marik, he's Greg Smith, and I'm Zack Carpenter. And today we're previewing Louisiana Tech at Nebraska. Nebraska is a 19.5 point favorite, 46.5 over under as we record here at noon, around 12:30, Wednesday, September 20th. So coming off a big win, Nebraska is 35-11 in Northern Illinois. Steve, how are we feeling right now? How are we feeling about this going into Saturday?
Yeah, I'm feeling good about the Huskers picking up another win over a group of five opponent. Sonny Cumby coming in. He's the air raid disciple from Mike Leach. He's kind of put his own twist onto his version of the air raid. He uses tight ends a lot more than the late Mike Leach ever did, and he runs the ball a heck of a lot more. But still, the passing concepts that you see all the time with air raid people, it's there. So he's a former Texas Tech quarterback. He knows all about Nebraska. Looking at them and their quarterback issues kind of coming in with Hank Bachmeier's right shoulder injury, don't really know his status for the game. So all eyes kind of shift to the backup that played last week at North Texas when Bachmeier went down, Jack Turner. Don't know a lot about him. I'm curious to see what he would bring if he's out there. But overall, I think that Husker fans should be feeling pretty good about this one. I think Louisiana Tech can be dangerous, aka Smoke Harris, the 5'7", 185-pounder, who is a little jitterbug out there, but he can do some really good things. But outside of him, I just don't know if there's a lot of firepower for that Louisiana Tech offense. And I think Nebraska's defense is going to get a really good performance again for the again, I mean, they've been really good all year. So I think it's going to be another solid Nebraska win. I think Husker fans should be happy to go to this one and enjoy it.
Yeah, there's definitely excitement building again for the team, which is good. They needed that, especially after what felt like the worst first 2 weeks of the season ever, where like the sky was falling and like the big picture, think pieces about Matt Rule's future and all of this stuff. People, calling for coaches' jobs, particularly Marcus Satterfield. Like things have kind of calmed down around here, which is good because we're again just 3 games now into the Matt Rule era, so it's good to see that calming down. But I also think that a large part of that calming down has been, what a little bit of what Steve mentioned about the defense. It feels like it has been defense week around here. I think that Matt Rule is 100% correct in saying this is right now a defensive-led team. He challenged those defensive guys, prior to last game, the Northern Illinois game, to kind of pick up the mantle and lead the team, and they seem to be more than willing to do it. It's a totally different feel, and I had not thought about this before about how foreign that kind of feels given the previous coach, but previous, well, 3 coaching regimes, right? Tech, well, kind of with Scott Frost and him being kind of him being an offensive guy and wanting the program to be led that way. Mike Riley was an offensive guy and wanted things to be led that way. Now, Bo Pelini was not. Then before that, Bill Callahan, offensive guy. So it's kind of a weird thing for Nebraska to go through this change of getting more Big Ten-esque and being led by defense than, talking so much about the offense, though I know people want the offense to be better.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys are anything like me, but I feel like I'm becoming more. I'm adopting more of the mindset of a Nebraska fan with each passing week because after Minnesota, it's just like, oh my god, that was miserable. There's no way. Like now they go to Colorado. Colorado looked awesome, and then by Wednesday when we're recording, I have convinced myself that they have enough to pull off the upset and talk myself into optimism for Nebraska by midweek, and they lose against Colorado. I'm again pessimism, pessimism, and then Wednesday comes along. It's like, you know what? I've now talked myself into everything's okay. The ship is righted. This is why Nebraska's going to win, and then they're coming off a win. And I'm not kidding. It was Monday. I'm walking my dog, and randomly popped in my head. I'm like, all right, you know what? 2-1 or 1-2. They can beat Louisiana Tech 2-2. Michigan comes to town. Like, I mean, I could see them pulling the upset if the game goes right, if they can pull off the script. And I stop myself. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. Like seeing everything being like being ingrained in it. It's like, wow, this is how it is around here, where a loss is the end of the world. And then midweek, you're talking yourself into it. A win means everything. And you're already looking ahead to, well, this is what could happen. Like, this is the best picture scenario. And that's what I've talked myself into again now. So coming off a win, I'm feeling good about Nebraska. As like you said, Steve, Sonny Cumbie coming in here, and familiar name to a lot of Nebraska fans. He came in here in 2004 and put up 70 points, 70-10, which is still the largest margin of defeat in Nebraska history. 60 points, put up over 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. And he, like you said, Mike Leach disciple. He has the air raid going at Louisiana Tech, but we'll see if that's hampered at all by the weather forecast, the conditions that might be there with thunderstorms in the forecast right now for the morning, potentially the afternoon. So 60% chance of rain. So might have that to deal with. But I think we've done bold predictions where we talk about the weather and then it winds up not being a factor at all.
It doesn't even happen at all. Yeah, where I'm letting the weather go. That doesn't even exist to me right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's a footnote. It's like something to mention, but not anything that I'm basing my bold predictions around too much. But with that being said, Steve, kick it off with your bold prediction. We're just going to do one bold prediction, then final score to round it out. So you're up first.
Okay, so my one bold prediction, and I'm going to get weirdly specific here. So Thomas Fidone is going to catch a 6-yard touchdown pass, and that'll be the 3rd straight game where he's caught a touchdown. And I think while like the offensive set that Fidone is going to catch this 6-yard touchdown pass, I think Jeff Sims is going to throw it to him, and I think Heinrich Harburg is also going to be on the field. So when we last talked to Marcus Satterfield, the offensive coordinator,
Steve's cooking something up in that playbook.
Yeah, sort of. I wish I knew what I was talking about, though. So
we're here to have fun.
Yeah, Satterfield was asked if he's a fan of a 2-quarterback system or if he would even entertain that. Long story short, he went back to the coach speak and he said, no, but if you have, I'm usually a traditionalist of, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. But in his current situation of, there's no Gabe Ervin, there's no Ramir Johnson, both out for the season with injuries sustained last week. The receiver room right now at Nebraska is I don't see anybody in there that really scares a defense. But the guy that could scare defenses is Thomas Fidone. So you want to get him a corner route, and you're going to want to get Alex Bullock going to line up on the line of scrimmage as your X receiver. He's going to run a pick route, and Thomas Fidone is going to run a corner route to the back pylon, and he's going to get a step on his defender. And Heinrich Harburg, like we saw at Minnesota, he's gonna be an offline tight end, and he's gonna be lined up to the. In my head, this is a play going to the right. So Heinrich Harburg is going to be a offline tight end lined up in the backfield a little bit, and he's going to act like he's going to do a split block on the end man of the line of scrimmage. He's going to bluff it, and he's going to go all the way out to the flat. So it's going to be a high-low read for Jeff Sims, and Jeff Sims is going to fit it right over the top of the guy caught in conflict, the corner caught in conflict, and he's not going to throw an interception like he did on the high-low read against Minnesota. He's going to throw a 6-yard touchdown pass to Thomas Fidone with Heinrich Harburg and Jeff Sims on the field at the same time. So there's my oddly specific bold prediction for Nebraska. How's that sound, guys?
It is got to be the boldest one we've ever had, only because you were so oddly specific.
I forgot wwho's that running back, Anthony Grant. At first, I wanted to be like, hey, should Heinrich Harburg be the running back and the dive option on this play? Like, why would you take Anthony Grant off the field and do that? So just put Anthony Grant at running back where he plays running back. He's going to run that dive. Jeff Sims is going to read the man. He's going to see him closing in. He's going to pull it, and he's going to run off to his right, and he's going to loop it around. 6-yard touchdown, Thomas Fidone with Heinrich Harburg running in the flat right underneath Thomas Fidone.
I can see all of this unraveling. It's all set up. It's happening.
I really hope so. That'd be cool.
And then we're in the press box. It's all happening, and then boom, Jeff Sims throws a pick 6 for 100 yards.
If it just looks like that Minnesota interception in the end zone.
I can picture it for what Steve's reaction would be. It would just be deadpan. There would be no no high, no low.
No. It would be the exact opposite, because at
right.
that point I had already run, because they are doing what I said they were doing. I don't know if Jeff Sims is going to complete the pass, but I mean, the idea is there, and that's all I want.
That would be fantastic. Zach, I thought you were going to go with, and then the play is developing, and then Jeff Sims drops the snap.
No,
I thought too soon.
Too soon. There is going to be rain.
Sorry.
There's going to be rain on
Saturday.
Saturday.
It could be sloppy out there. I love that prediction because it's so specific. And Steve was in the lab, not on a whiteboard, but on his pen with his pen and pad. I've seen the notepad. Yeah, I drew it up. I drew it up. It was there. I love it. For those watching on video, you get to see Steve's play design there. That's awesome.
Alex Bullock needs to act like he's running a route and not just setting a basketball screen, but he's setting a basketball screen.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to coach that out. Come on, Garrett McGuire. My bold prediction sticks with a couple of the people that Steve mentioned there as he designed that play so eloquently. It's around the quarterbacks. My bold prediction is that I think that both Heinrich Harburg and Jeff Sims are going to score touchdowns in this football game. I can't wait to see, because we don't know at this point. Like, there's no inside information here on which guy is going to start. I still, in my heart of hearts, if you made me say, I would say that Jeff Sims is going to get the start. I'm curious to see the reaction from the crowd when that happens. Hopefully it's a loud cheer to kind of give him a boost of confidence. But either way, I think that both of them are going to play. Both of them are going to play multiple series, but I think that both of them will play fairly well and score a touchdown in this game, which will then, A, fuel more of this quarterback controversy going forward, which will be fun for us. And so this is kind of selfish. And then B, it will also then make Jim Harbaugh, coming off of his suspension and all of that stuff, him getting back into the full swing against an actual live opponent that the team is finally playing, have something else for them to actually prepare for. So I think that would actually provide the best of both worlds for everything, but with both of them score a touchdown in this game.
Fellas, we're coming off of defensive week, and you guys are both going with an offensive bold prediction for this video. All right, come on. We got to stick with the theme of the week. I'm going with the defensive side. This defense has been nasty. It's been that's the best way to say it, is just nasty. And with that, there's just that one piece missing, and it's the takeaways that we've talked about all week last week. We talked about it this week, and they've gotten so close. Like, you hear Tony White say we're like 6 inches away from making that play. I mean, you look at all 3 weeks, there's been an instance of that where Isaac Gifford in the end zone against Minnesota gets both hands on the ball for an interception that would have sealed the game, won the game if he makes the play. Quentin Newsome in the end zone, one-on-one with, I believe it was Travis Hunter, almost picked off Shedeur Sanders in the end zone. And then Quentin Newsome again almost had his first career pick against Northern Illinois, where he just hugged the sideline. And then Javen Wright did wind up getting a pick late in that game. But I went takeaways last week. I'm going with it again because they're in position. They've been in position so often to make one of those plays. They hit so hard. You heard Rule talk about that this week. Like, we're hitting too hard to not pop one of those balls loose. And I see it coming around the corner, and then those turnovers always come in bunches, I feel like. And you saw it one way with Nebraska, where they come in bunches, where they're losing the turnovers. And I think they could come in bunches again whenever they do come. I don't know if it's going to come in bunches where they're going to have 3 or 4 takeaways in this game, but I'm predicting at least 2 takeaways. And if we're going oddly specific, and one stat that I did look up that I wanted to mention is Nebraska is tied 4th in the country with 14 sacks. Louisiana Tech has allowed 11 sacks, which I have down as tied for the 9th most in the country. It might be wrong on the exact ranking, but 14 sacks for Nebraska and 11 allowed for Louisiana Tech. And Louisiana Tech has 6 turnovers, which is also bottom 3rd in the country. So I could see potential strip sack, could see an interception. But if I'm going oddly specific, John Bullock and Isaac Gifford are going to combine for a scoop and score, whether that's a sack fumble or just a regular tackle and one of them picks it up and runs it the other way. Those 2 guys are the ones that you notice. Like, I mean, the entire defense, it feels like as a whole, is physical and hitting hard, but those 2 above anyone else, I think, have been the most notable with their physicality. And one of these days, and I think it's going to be on Saturday, where one of them's going to pop the ball carrier, and it's going to pop the ball loose. The other one's going to pick it up, run it the other way for I won't get too specific of a 30-yarder or 50-yarder, 60-yarder. Either way,
32 yards in the third quarter.
Yeah, with 5 minutes left in the third quarter at the Nebraska 40-yard line. So 60-yard scoop and score. That'd be a hell of a thing. So that's mine. And now we'll roll into final score predictions because we're running out of time, Steve, but take as much time as you need. Get as oddly specific as you want to.
This one's not going to be too specific, but I guess it is because I have a final score. 31-14, Nebraska is going to win this one, 31-14. On the 25th anniversary of Louisiana Tech wide receiver Troy Edwards catching an NCAA record, single game record, 21 passes for 405 yards against the Huskers in Memorial Stadium back in 1998. And so I think the 21 catches is not an NCAA single game record anymore, but the 405 receiving yards still stands as a single game record. So that was Troy Edwards back in 1998. His son named Drew Edwards, a 6'3" receiver, and he's on the Bulldogs roster along with DeColdis Crawford. He's going to be making his triumphant return to Lincoln, Nebraska. So
I mockers infringing on his territory.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if they're going to be like, dapping each other up at the 50-yard line and talking about, J&H Cooling or whoever it is. I don't know.
Free plug.
No free ads. I don't even think that's correct. I don't know.
Who knows? I hope that maybe Nash will get a hit on him. The way he's playing, he's been hitting everything that moves. So we'll see. My prediction for the score, I'm going to go Nebraska 31, Louisiana Tech 10. I think Nebraska's defense comes to play again. I think this defense is the truth. And I think they'll show it once again on Saturday. If you're Louisiana Tech, you cannot feel good about your shaky quarterback situation coming into Memorial Stadium, where the crowd, I think, will be very juiced when the defense is out there because they're loving what they're seeing, and the defense has played with tremendous passion all season long. I like Zack's bold prediction, though, about the turnover portion. We'll see about the oddly specific part, but I think they do get a couple as well. But I just don't know that the offense has the firepower to get into like the 40s. 31-10, Nebraska takes home the win.
Now, I originally had 27-14 down as my final score, but I realized that I've gone with Nebraska scoring 27 points at least the last 2 weeks. Might have been the last 3 weeks. I think I had them at 27 for Minnesota. No, I had them at 20. I had them losing, so I didn't have 27. But either way, I want to switch it up a little bit. So instead of 27, going 28. Going to bump it up a number. Going to bump it up one number. I'm going to take Louisiana Tech down 1 point. So I have 28-13. Weird odd number, but Northern Illinois just put up an odd number of 11 points last week. So 28-13 because, like you said, Greg, I mean, this defense is playing lights out. And the only thing I think that Louisiana Tech could pop if Hank Bachmeier is in the game, or even Jack Turner, they have the air raid where the opportunity for explosive plays is there. And I think I saw they're one of the best in the country of 50, 60-yard plays. So I think you might see a receiver get behind one of the corners, get behind the secondary for like one big play. But other than that, I don't think they're going to sustain a bunch of offense in this game. Maybe not as poorly as NIU had, where they didn't have the ball on the Nebraska side of the field from that second drive after the fumble inside the 5 all the way until the last garbage time touchdown drive of the game. But I see this defense being able to step up. Maybe we'll see another score late. But on the other side, you have an offense that's 21st in the country in rushing offense that's now down. It's top 2 running backs, especially with Gabe Ervin, who was getting the bulk of those carries along with the quarterbacks. So with those guys out, we'll see how that rushing offense is sustained. But either way, I think Nebraska's going to be able to maybe not necessarily an easy win, but another one where you're not sweating it too much. So that's why I have got another under, going with the under, and Nebraska to not cover. So any final thoughts real quick, rapid fire?
Smoke Harris, just fans of football anywhere, go watch that kid. It is really fun. He's very small, 5'7", 183 pounds, but with the ball in his hands, he's got some juice, guys. It's really fun. I think he's going to break some tackles. Nebraska's defense is going to hold him down, limit him, but it's going to be fun watching them try to tackle him because he can shift like no other. It's really, really good.
I'll leave it there with Steve. I like that.
Yeah,
Darren's got a cool name, Smoke.
His nickname is the Smoke Show, so we gotta be on the lookout for that. He's like Deuce Vaughn or Darren Sproles out there, and
there you go.
It'll be exciting to watch him play on Saturday. Again, Nebraska and Louisiana Tech kick off at 2:30 Central. Nebraska is 19.5-point favorite, over under 46.5. So we'll see what happens there. But that's it for us with bowl predictions. You can check out. We'll have another different bowl prediction at InsideNebraska.com if you guys want to check that out. Where the three of us and Jeff Ekstrom all will be going through the game and seeing how it shakes out. So for Steve Marik and Greg Smith, I'm Zack Carpenter, and we'll catch you guys again next time.